Well, two presidential hopefuls will be on the campaign trail in Salt Lake City tomorrow. Bernie Sanders holding his rally at noon at the Utah State Fair Park.
And Senator Amy Klobuchar is holding hers at 9 a.m. at the Depot in downtown Salt Lake City. Right now, we're joined by Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar. Senator, thank you so much for joining us on this Sunday morning.
Well, thank you, John. Thank you, Amy. I'm looking forward to coming to your great city tomorrow. And I also note that my name and my husband's name, Amy and John, are the same as you two. So I'm feeling good about this interview. There you go.
Well, Senator, 14 states are voting on Super Tuesday. Utah just 29 pledged delegates. Why make a play here in this state?
I want to go everywhere, and that's actually part of how I've always run my campaigns, and it's how I will govern. I don't think you should leave parts of the country behind. I think that we need a big coalition of fired-up Democrats, yes, but also independents, moderate Republicans. And I think there are so many things that need to get done right now for the people of this country. You know, things like bringing down the cost of pharmaceuticals, which are way too high, doing something about climate change. I've been working with one of your Republican senators actually on the issue of antitrust and making sure that small businesses are able to thrive. I think all of those are issues that affect Utah and affect our country as a whole. And I think to do this, you really need a broad coalition. And finally, I want to bring decency back to the White House. I think that people are tired of the mean tweets and the drama and the attacks on people. And that's just not what our country is about. The heart of our country is bigger than the heart of the guy in the White House right now.
Well, you mentioned some of the common ground, even between my co-anchor and I, and you and your husband. You have been described as one of the more moderate candidates among the Democratic field. Do you think that that will help you in a state like Utah? How do you appeal and reach across the aisle in that way?
Yes, I do. I'm aware that Senator Sanders has some popularity in the state, but I also know that my brand of politics of actually getting things done, I passed over 100 bills as a lead Democrat, matters. And I also think that some of his ideas they sound good, I know that, but the difference between a plan and a pipe dream, a plan is something you can get done. And that's why I want to lower premiums with a nonprofit public option. I want to make it easier for students to pay back their student loans and to go to school and to invest in K through 12. But I'm not proposing $60 trillion of programs, which is what he's proposing. And that is actually 3 times the federal, not the federal budget, the whole economy, 3 times the entire economy of the United States of America. So we're different. We get along, but we're different. And I think my brand of politics, as I said, is much more suitable for Utah. And the last thing I'll say, I'm someone that's won in red districts, rural districts, suburban districts. I'm the only one running for president now on the Democratic side that has consistently done that. And that's because I bring people with me.
You know, here in Utah, we deal with mental health issues, drug addiction as well. That's been one of your big talking points. What could you do as president to kind of make an impact on these very serious issues?
This is a big deal. The addiction with the opioid epidemic, I've been leading on that for years, but I think there's other kinds of addiction we know are still out there, meth, alcoholism, you name it. And then mental health. 1 in 5 Americans suffer from mental illness sometimes in their life, and there's still a lot of stigma involved in getting treatment. For me, this is all personal. My dad struggled with alcoholism my whole life growing up. By the time my husband and I got married, he had his 3rd DWI. And then the judge said, jail or treatment? And he chose treatment. And in his words, he was pursued by grace because of his faith, the treatment, his family. And now he's 91 in assisted living. His AA group still visits him there. And in his words, it's hard to get a drink around here anyway. What I've seen in my own family, I think everyone has that same right to be pursued by grace. And that includes people with mental illness. And I know we can build on what we have right now in place and do a much better job if we have a president that's willing to make it a priority.
Some important issues for sure. Let's talk about the field in general. It's been a very crowded field, the Democratic candidates, starting to shrink just a bit after an announcement by Steyer yesterday. At what point do you think the field will continue to shrink, and do you think having a crowded field will hurt whoever the Democratic frontrunner will be?
Well, you know, at one point we had like 25 serious candidates, and now we're really down to 5 or 6. So it has changed in a big, big way, and I think that is significant. Then you have the fact that we're going to have Super Tuesday, and Utah is one of those 14 states, and nearly a third of the country will be voting. So far, we've had something like 3-4% of the country vote. So I think it's a really important day on Tuesday. And I'm looking forward to competing in Utah.
All right.
Senator, thank you so much for joining us. Please dress warmly. We have a cold front here, some snow this morning, so I'm sure you're prepared for that, though.
Oh, come on now. I'm from Minnesota. I did my announcement in a blizzard with 4 inches of snow on my head.
I think you're ready for it.
I'm more than ready. I'm more than ready for your snow.
This will be easy then. All right. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.